Hi everyone, I'm beginning in my usual way. If you haven't seen last night's episode of Project Runway, you may not want to watch this, because I'm going to definitely spoil it for you. And my God, what an episode it was. I don't even know where to begin. Well, let me begin with the challenge, because it's really rather adorable, though it sounded terrifying when Heidi first presented it. Heidi tells the designers that for this challenge they're going to be creating a red carpet look for a big celebrity, one who's extremely difficult and opinionated. And I thought, Nina Garcia? But in fact, it's Heidi, and the designers meet me in the workroom, and I guess I'm the one who tells them it's a red carpet look. Heidi says you're designing a look for a celebrity. And then I asked the designers whether they want to meet the celebrity, and of course they do. And our adorable Heidi, I don't think I've ever seen her look more adorable. When she opens the door crack and pokes her head in and comes in, and she was wonderful. And you know, she's never been in the workroom, ever. So I thought, I hope she can find it. I do have to tell you a funny backstory, though, having to do with season 4. Donna Karen was our guest judge, and Donna said right after the Q&A that she wanted to go to the workroom, look at the designer's sketches, and see what extra fabric was lying around, what was on the floor, or what they didn't use. And I thought, what? And I've known Donna for a long time, and I know that that's what she wants to do when she's working with students. She wants to see the original sketch and compare it to the outcome. She wants to look at all the process. So Heidi said, okay, and she leaps off of her director's chair. Donna gets up. Michael and Nina are following, and I thought, wait a minute, this is entirely unfair. They shouldn't have access to all this background material. And I thought, how am I going to stop this? And I ran into the production room and thought, what am I worried about? Heidi doesn't know where the workroom is. It's going to take her half an hour to find it. And I was right. So at any rate, we intercepted before Heidi got up to the workroom. So Heidi's in the workroom with the designers, and they were thrilled, as anyone would be, to be designing for her. They know her well. She reminded them that she will not have her baby bump when she's wearing the dress. Meanwhile, drama is unfolding. And the producers came to me and told me that Maya had decided that she had to leave the show. And you can only imagine my incredulity. I mean, to begin, Maya's an extremely talented designer. She's an adorable individual. We're all extremely fond of her. And what's going on? And there are many different ways you could spin this. One is that Maya had felt overlooked by the judges. She's constantly in the top 3 or safe. I don't believe she was ever on the bottom. Yet she's never the one who's picked to be the winner. And in fact, the last challenge, I really thought that she should have been. And maybe that she thought she should have been also, and thought, I'm over this. I'm tired of this. But most importantly, and this is where I couldn't debate anything that she had to say to me, because she and I spent a good deal of time together in the designer lounge, on camera. But before we were on camera, we were off camera, because I just wanted her to know, outside of TV land, how much I am concerned about her and her well-being. And also to just reassure her that there's a great deal of appreciation for the work that she's doing, and to underscore how talented she is. So, faced with Maya's real terror about the whole prospect of going to Bryant Park for New York Fashion Week, I thought, I don't want to cheerlead. Well, I had a choice. I could cheerlead her back into that workroom, I thought, but I didn't think she could sustain it. I could get her in there, but unless I were to stand by her the whole time saying, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, what was she going to do? So I thought it was much better to stand in support of her leaving, and to let her know it was okay, and to just give her a hug and say everything's going to be all right. And that's, of course, what I did. And I brought her into the workroom. Well, if you saw the show, you know this. And she had to tell the designers, all of whom were shocked, really shocked. So, meanwhile, what's happening is Sarah Ray, our fabulous, wonderful executive producer, is with Anthony. Because Anthony is in the process of having an exit interview on camera. And he is mentally detached. I saw him that morning before I knew anything just said, you're wonderful and we're going to miss you. And he said, I'm going to be okay. He said, I'm disappointed, of course, but I'm already in another zone. And I thought, oh my God, we have to bring it back into the previous zone. And as Sarah said to me, Anthony could say no. I mean, we didn't have a bayonet in his back saying, you've got to do this. He could have said no. So I was crossing my fingers that he wouldn't. And remember, all the designers are still with us. They're sequestered. So we would have gone back to the next designer, and if that designer said no, the designer after that. But Anthony didn't say no, as we know. He said yes, but it did require a lot of mental adjustment. And we, of course, brought him into the workroom late. He had to make up the time, which we accommodated all of that. Where am I going with this? Just that we brought Anthony back, thank goodness, because that workroom needs some humor. It needs some levity. It needs someone to serve as a counterbalance to Emilio. I won't even go there. It needs something. And then we had a mini drama, and it was a mini drama because it involved a model. We had Valeria leave. She got a job with Donna Karen. I'm still not certain what it was, but it doesn't matter, whatever. And we brought Carrie back because she was the last model out. So I had the best time I've ever had in the workroom making the rounds with Heidi. It was so much fun. It was also an opportunity for me to relax and let them hear all the things that I would be saying otherwise from the client. I was particularly pleased to hear Heidi go after Jay, who never listens to me, to go after Jay about the volume in the bottom of the look. As Heidi said, what woman wants her hips to look wider? And I've been saying this all along, but what do I know? I'm not a woman. And I don't like wide hips either. So Jay heard it from Heidi. Did he fix it? Well, he modified it. It wasn't fixed entirely, but he did modify it. And then there's Emilio, who could do no wrong. And of course, Heidi was drooling and lathering all over him. I felt sick for Jonathan. I still feel sick for Jonathan. I mean, he is so brilliant. He is so innovative with textiles, and he had been working for hours and hours and hours on this elaborate multi-layer cutout. And I thought it was beautiful. Heidi hated it. And, things happen for a reason. At least she declared that she hated it, midway in the process, as opposed to having it get on the runway. And as I said to Jonathan, this is an opportunity for you to show Heidi, our premier judge, that you can respond to this feedback and rally and regroup, which he did, and it was a big hot mess, I'm sorry to say. And then he was left with either an opportunity to make it work, which I looked at it, I didn't see what could possibly happen. The textiles were tortured. So he took the remaining textiles and made something that at least could walk the runway. It was the third look, though it wasn't good. It was better than the second look. It was just a case of everything that could go wrong went wrong with him. And needless to say, he's the designer who went home. Mila was the other one who, I don't know whether it was all the commotion in the workroom and all the interruptions, but she really lost her way for the first time the entire season. And at least she had a presentable look. It wasn't as well constructed. Well, it wasn't well constructed, and she's a fabulous technician. And it was a dubious look, and it certainly didn't say red carpet. But I didn't think Jay's said red carpet either. It looked more like an Ice Capade outfit. But we had two winners, and I think the first time in the whole history of the show. Emilio, of course, and Anthony. And I was so thrilled for him, and it was Jessica Alba, our guest judge, who declared that she would wear the look. So, what a show. Two winners, fabulous. We're going to miss Jonathan terribly, I certainly will. And more unprecedented events happened last night than have ever happened in the whole history of the show. So, stay with us next week.